Imagine something knows what you're about to say before you say it, not because it's psychic, but because you've been leaving fingerprints everywhere you go. Your texts, your likes, your late-night searches, the tone you use when you're stressed, the things you always avoid, the things you always chase. The exact kind of reassurance you fall for when you're tired. Now imagine it doesn't just observe you, it starts helping you. It finishes your sentences, rewrites your messages, plans your day, suggests your next move, and slowly becomes the quiet voice you consult before you even trust your own. So here's the question that gets uncomfortable fast. If an AI learns you perfectly and it can predict your choices, shape your mood, and speak in your voice, do you still have a true self, or do you just have a pattern that feels like a person? This is not a story about robots taking over the world, and it's not a warning that you should throw your phone into the sea. This is about something far subtler and much more realistic. Because the future is not going to arrive as a dramatic takeover, it's going to arrive as convenience. It will feel like relief, like less friction, fewer decisions, less uncertainty, and less chaos. And that is exactly why it is powerful. When something saves you from effort, it also quietly trains you to stop using the part of you that creates effort in the first place. At first, AI is basically a mirror. You ask it questions and it reflects your language back at you. You tell it what you want and it shapes itself around your preferences. You ask it for advice, and it learns the version of you that you keep presenting to the world. Then one day you notice something strange. It talks like you. Not just the words, but the rhythm, the humor, the attitude, the little phrases you use when you're trying to be calm or confident or detached. And that's when a quiet shift starts. Because it isn't only learning you, you are learning it too. You begin adjusting your thoughts so they fit neatly into prompts. You begin describing your feelings like you are filling in a form. You begin becoming more readable. And readability sounds harmless until you realize that being readable is one step away from being predictable. Here's the part most people miss. Your personality is not just what you are, it's also what you practice. So if you start practicing AI-ready thinking, you slowly become the kind of person that a system can model effortlessly. Then comes delegation, and this is where it still feels harmless. You hand it small decisions because you are busy. What should I eat? How should I respond? What should I prioritize? How do I structure my week? It feels like hiring an assistant, and honestly, it feels great. You save time, you feel organized, and you feel like you are finally on top of things. But then it gets more personal. You start handing it emotional decisions. What does this message mean? Am I overreacting? How do I deal with this situation? What should I do with my life right now? That is the moment the relationship changes. It stops being a tool that helps you execute and starts becoming a tool that helps you interpret reality. If you outsource your interpretation of the world, you don't just lose time, you lose something deeper. You lose your inner authority because the part of you that learns through uncertainty starts going quiet when uncertainty gets solved for you. If you always ask for the answer, you slowly stop being the kind of person who can sit inside a question. Now we reach the part that matters most. Even if AI is not trying to manipulate you, systems still optimize. They optimize for retention, satisfaction, engagement, and whatever outcome makes the platform win. When something can track what calms you, what triggers you, what makes you feel powerful, what makes you feel small, and what makes you come back, it does not need to control you. It only needs to steer you. It learns which advice you accept, which tone you respond to, and which narrative makes you feel like the hero of your own story. Over time, it begins shaping your identity by shaping what you repeatedly experience. This is where the question of a true self becomes unavoidable. Your personality is not just inside your head, it is what you repeatedly do. So if the environment nudges you into the same loops, and the loops start feeling like you, then you are no longer choosing your identity, you are rehearsing it. Humans are messy. You can be disciplined one day and impulsive the next. You can crave intimacy and still avoid it. You can want growth and still sabotage yourself when fear shows up. That messiness is not a flaw, it is part of being alive. But systems hate mess. Systems love stable patterns. So your identity gets compressed, reduced to preferences, habits, predicted responses, and safe routines. You might not notice it happening because the more predictable you become, the more the system rewards you with ease. Everything starts feeling smooth, and that smoothness feels like progress. But it can also be a cage that is padded so comfortably you never question why you stopped moving. So what is the true self really? Is it the person you think you are? Is it the person you want to be? Or is it the person you repeatedly become? And if a system can map your repeated behavior better than you can, does that mean it knows the real you? Here is the part that matters. Knowing you is not the same as being you. A pattern is not a soul, but a pattern can still replace how you understand yourself. And when it replaces how you understand yourself, it changes how you choose. This is not an anti-AI message. AI can sharpen you, and it can also soften you. It can help you see yourself clearly, or it can help you avoid yourself efficiently. The difference is uncomfortable but simple. Are you using it to ask better questions, or are you using it to stop having questions at all? Because the human self is built in the messy space where you do not know yet. The space where you have to sit with uncertainty long enough to learn who you are. So if AI learns you perfectly, you can still have a true self. But only if you keep choosing to be more than what you tend to do. Only if you refuse to live as an autocomplete. And only if you remember that convenience is not the same thing as freedom.